So, weekends, you fuckers don't seem to make a lot of videos, and that's the time when I like to listen to some videos. On weekends, there's a period of time in the morning when I'm having a cup of coffee, or in the evening when I'm kind of winding down, where I like to listen to some YouTube videos, and I prefer your guys' videos, but there's some podcasts I listen to. Um, I say mostly firearms, and then some agricultural podcasts. Um, but I think it was last week, Southern Paladin, when we were having that cap and ball discussion, had brought up hunting, and before that, maybe a couple weeks prior, brought up turkey hunting in a more challenging way than just simply going out with a cartridge firing shotgun. Which, not a bad way to put a turkey on the ground, but I understand wanting to dial up that level of difficulty. Um, Most people when they start hunting, they just want to get anything, and then they start to, well, maybe I want to get something a little bit bigger, or I want to get something more specific, or I want to do it in a harder way, and I totally understand that. It's why archery hunting is such a big thing. Um, you know, even archery hunting with modern archery tackle adds a whole level of challenge that most people who don't regularly hunt don't realize. And I was I was looking a little bit at for Southern Paladin, your where you'd be hunting turkey, and kind of seeing, well, what are your options in terms of what kind of tools you could, what kind of gear you could use. And I come to the conclusion, outside of archery tackle, you're allowed to use pre-charged pneumatic air guns and muzzleloaders. And so this got me to thinking, because a few years back, it's probably like 2017, 2018, I fell down the airgun hunting rabbit hole a little bit, and I even had, well, I still have it, just in storage. But I got a, oh, I can't remember what make, but it was a good break action 22 pellet gun, which to me kind of was like, it was kind of the equivalent to, I'd say, almost like a 22 short. Like, and the reason why I got into it, I got really deep into this whole, um, basically like hunting and pest control in like urban areas. That's a weird thing to get into, but for some reason my mind went in that direction. And so when it comes to pre-charged pneumatics, I didn't buy a pre-charged pneumatic. Like I said, I bought a nitro piston, and my only reason for that was is that I kind of figured that that air gun would sit behind the back door and be used for pest control, basically. And I lived in a pretty urban area at the time, so but when it comes to those pre-charged pneumatics, one that might fit the bill, and I hate to say this, because when I start talking about this stuff, it means you got to buy something, and you might not be willing to do that. But I'm just putting the option out there in case you're interested. Um, Benjamin makes a air gun called the Marauder, They're a little bit more money than what they used to be, but they're still pretty affordable. Like I say affordable. Like I've seen the base model without the scope, because the thing is, you might as well buy the scope afterwards, and you find yourself something good to put on there. Because the ones that come on them are usually dog shit anyway. But the Marauder with iron sights and a synthetic stock like the rifle one, and they come in your like your common airgun hunting calibers, 177, 22, and 25, I believe. Um, you're restricted to to going over 20 caliber, I believe. So I know a lot of the airgun guys. I When I got into this, I started watching this YouTube channel called Ted's Holdover. He is a big proponent of the 25 caliber, and I'm sure 25 caliber is great, but 22 is common. So I would stick with the 22. And so you could have that pre-charged pneumatic and sit in one of your deer stands, have some decoys out, and you'd go for headshots on those turkeys. And I think that would be kind of a good route to go, because those air guns can be pretty accurate. The other option I was looking at for you, as I'm shopping, getting eccentric with somebody else's money, uh, but the other option I was looking at was some of the muzzleloading shotguns, and there's a couple routes a person could go on that. The most expensive, and this is just me going on Dixie Gunworks and taking a look. Um, there is a 12 gauge side by side, like a full length shotgun. I don't know, 28, 30 inches, whatever it is. Um, and that's cap lock, because everything I was looking at was cap locks. I want to say it's around $1,400. So that's getting really expensive. Um, Next option, which would be more of a challenge because you'd have to be in closer, would be a 20 gauge Howdah pistol. And a 20 gauge still is legal where you are for Turkey, I believe. And the 20 gauge Howdah pistol is like $1,200. Not only would it add a challenge to hunting turkey because it is 20 gauge and it's pistol and all that kind of stuff, but it is cool as shit. I I don't know if I would buy one just because of the fact that they're as expensive as they are. But if I had one, that motherfucker would be on display because that'd be the coolest shit ever. um, and there's another option. Dixie Gunworks does sell a 12 gauge side by side cap lock for like 1100, but it's in a kit. And I know you're a very handy, capable guy, but I don't know. I don't know if I would take on one of those kits. Like I built some of those kits before, and I know the first one that I built was kind of rough because you know, I didn't realize though that you had to dry fit fit everything together before you actually trim the stock and all that. So I just kind of it didn't the first one I did look it didn't look good, but it worked. We'll put it that way. Um, I think you're a guy who, like I said, you're handy enough. You have enough attention to detail, but those kits, um, some of them require a lot more fitting than others. I know, like back in the day, Thompson used to make their kits, and you just basically put the gun together. But I know, like the Traditions kits, you really got to fit them. So, yeah. Anyhow, I figured I'd make a video, and that was something that was rattling around in my brain. Anyway, everyone, take care.